So Kamala Harris has finally announced her policy agenda and some of her economic plans. So let's take a look at the Harris-Walsh economic plan. So the first plan is the $25,000 down payment support for first-time home buyers. The next one is to cut taxes for middle-class families with kids, a new $6,000 child tax credit for families with children in the first year of life, cut taxes on frontline workers, cut taxes to help Americans afford health insurance on the Affordable Care Act marketplace. Now this right here, this is the big one. She wants to propose a federal ban on corporate price gouging in food and grocery stores. Now, to the American people's ears, this sounds like a fantastic idea, especially with grocery prices skyrocketing that is under the Biden and Kamala Harris administration, and everything else has skyrocketed. Yes, we need a set price, for groceries. That way, the middle-class American citizens can finally afford to buy food in the grocery stores. You don't have to take out a loan anymore to afford to buy groceries. But to people who understand basic economics 101, this is a horrible, disastrous, shitty idea. You want to know why? Ask Cuba how price control laws went. Ask North Korea how price control laws went. Ask Venezuela how price control laws went. Hell, ask Richard Nixon back in the 1970s how price control laws went. It was a disaster. It led to shortages. It led to prices going up even more, quadruple, triple time. Okay, people need to understand, if you don't know, buckle up your seats because class is in session. Excuse me. Now, you need to know what causes inflation. Now, inflation is caused by a myriad of factors. It's caused by, production of cars going up. It's caused by government overspending. It's caused by supply and demand. So if demand is up here, but supply is down here, it causes prices to go up. Also things, monetary policies and things of that nature. So let's talk about the first big one is government overspending. Now, every fiscal year, the government has to pass a budget. If they don't pass a budget, that leads to a government shutdown. And when they do pass a budget, they have three things that they have to spend on. The one is mandatory spending. That's Social Security benefits, veterans benefits, and anything that's covered by the government, whether people who's in Section 8 housing, food stamps, stuff that's distributed to the states. The next one is discretionary spending. That's up to, government policies or government officials in the House of Representatives or Congress, whatever the case may be. And the last one is spending to pay off their debt, the interest on their debt, which they fucking never do because the debt's like $35 trillion and counting. So there's three things that they have to spend on for the budget. Now, when you spend more money than you don't have, you get into debt. So if you spend money that you don't have, you get into debt. Now, what do you do to find resources to get more money when you don't have any more? You use credit cards. The credit card for the government is printing more money. What happens when you print more money? It devalues the value of money. So now $1 is now worth 25 cents when you print so much of it. That's what they've been doing the last couple of years. Hell, in fact, let's look at last year. In 2023, the federal government right here collected nearly $4.5 trillion in revenue in the fiscal year of 2023. The federal government spent almost $6.2 trillion in that same year, including funds distributed to states. Now you want to ask, well, why did they spend so much money? Why did they spend $1.7 trillion more than they were supposed to? Well, let's take a look at what the government spent money on. The countless of billions of dollars they keep giving to Ukraine. The countless of billions of dollars they keep funding to all these illegal immigrants that they are allowing to cross this country. They get them free food, free housing, free healthcare, free insurance, free health, free education, free everything under the sun. All right. Also, the last thing is the disaster was going on in the Israel-Palestinian war. They've also sent billions of dollars to that. So they're funding genocide. They're funding people who are not citizens of the United States of America, and they're funding foreign affairs that has nothing to do with them. So yes, when you keep passing unnecessary, financial aid package to shit that has nothing to do with you, that gets you into debt. Now, rise of production costs increases, which causes inflation. So I'm going to give you guys a quick example. Under the Biden-Harris Inflation Reduction Act, which I like to call the Inflation Enhancement Act, they decided to limit fracking. If you guys don't know what fracking is, it's pretty much just drilling holes into the earth so you get oil and natural gas. That's where a lot of farmers and food producing companies get their energy from. Biden is against fracking. Donald Trump is for fracking. When he came into office, him and Kamala Harris limited fracking. Therefore, the rise of production went up, because if you don't have a lot of supply for it, you have to your price to make those things goes up. So by the limited fracking, Donald Trump wants more fracking. So that meant under the Inflation Reduction Act, they made prices of production go up. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick example to dumb it down. Before, let's just say a banana cost, $1 to make, and they sell it in the grocery stores for $5. Now that food company made $4 profit. But now under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, that production cost went up to say $3, and they still want to sell it in the grocery store for $5. Now that's only a $2 profit instead of a $4 profit. Therefore, they had to increase the prices of the stuff in the grocery stores because they still have to stay in business. The price of production went up. Therefore, they had to make the price in the grocery stores go up because it cost them more to make certain goods. Now, and that's what leads to a lot of, bad supplies, a lot of bad products out there. Because why you think we see a lot of all these processed meats, artificial foods, genetically modified foods that have been sprayed with pesticides? Because it's easier and cheaper to grow than natural organic stuff. They have made it is so expensive to grow all natural 100% things like chicken, apples, bananas, fruits, than it is to spray them with pesticides, because it's cheaper. You just do it, mass production, boom, bada, boom, dang. You start to cut costs. So if things go up in price and production costs, people start to cut corners, and that's why you see all the stuff that we see, especially food is horrible. Talked about the genetically modified food, the processed meat, the artificial foods and stuff like that, which eventually does get people sick. And people need to understand this too. Groceries only have a 1 to 3% profit margin. So that is razor thin. You cannot make it more expensive for them or set a certain price for them to sell things, because if their price of production keeps going up, but you have a federal law saying they can't sell it for over this price, that is literally going to run them out of business. Then we're not going to have no more people making food. Then we're going to have exactly what happened in Cuba, what happened in Venezuela, what happened in 1970s with Richard Nixon. It is going to be a disaster. That cannot happen. A lot of grocery stores were shut down, and a lot of people will lose jobs and companies would go out of business. Look, especially right here, a lot of grocery stores have been shut down recently in the past 4 years under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Stop and Shop closed a lot of its locations all over the United States. Walmart closed down some stores. You look at Target, that also sells groceries, shut down some of its stores. Whole Foods shut down a couple of its stores. Any other groceries, all these, Lidl's shut down a couple of its stores. Trader Joe's, because simply when their groceries prices went up, people can't afford them, and it's like, hey, if you don't have no foot traffic, you don't have people coming into your stores buying your product, that caused you to go out of business. Because also too, rent has went up. So if the rent goes up but you don't have people buying your stuff, no money equals no business. Therefore, boom, boom, close the doors, file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So again, a federal ban on price gouging really would literally ruin every single business out there. And she has no idea how this is going to be regulated. There's going to be so many lawsuits against that, because it's literally illegal to do that. That's why it failed every single time a price control law or policy was introduced in every other country. Now, the $25,000 first-time home buyers assistance sounds like a good idea. Now, again, houses are extremely expensive. They have shot up in price. But here's the thing, what I talked about before. Where are they going to get the money for them? They're going to print it. And what happens when I said when you print more money, it further devalues the value of money. So therefore, house prices are going to go up $25,000, if not way more than that. The issue is not prices costing more. You need to bring down, yes, houses prices need to go down, but the main thing is mortgage rates also need to go down. Mortgage rates are damn near 7-8%. That is ridiculous. You need to bring down mortgage rates, all right? Therefore, people will be able to buy a house more. And especially, again, supply and demand. Demand is up here, supply is down low. You want to know why supply is down low and demand's up here? Because a lot of these new multifamily homes, they're giving to the illegal immigrants. They're funding illegal immigrants to stay in all these apartments. Some of them are giving houses to these illegal immigrants. So when you kick all these illegal immigrants out, then the supply will start to meet up with the demands, because it'll actually be actual citizens, taxpayers, who are buying these homes. Therefore, the prices of the homes will go down. Therefore, the mortgage rates will go down. Therefore, the middle class will start to thrive again. Said the second thing too, she says she wants to build 3 million new homes in the span of 4 years if she's elected into the White House, which she wouldn't be. My question is, where are you going to find the land to build 3 million new homes in 4 years? You can't just go into every state or county official and just take over the land. That's going to lead to lawsuits. That's going to lead to destruction of vegetation, destruction of trees. That's going to be environmental issues. You cannot do that. So you're over here trespassing onto land that's not yours, that's owned by state or local county officials. They have to then agree to give up that land to build more affordable housing. That's not going to be feasible. It's not. Okay. The main thing is to kick out the illegals that you're giving all this money to. Give it to citizens who are paying their taxes, citizens who have residency and contribute to the economy, not getting free resources from the demented government. So that's not going to be feasible. 3 million new homes, again, sounds good, but you're not going to find enough land to do that. You're going to have to go onto state and county land, which could then lead to lawsuits, because they already have that land maybe in development for another project. You can't just come and say, hey, you know what? All the plans that you have for that to build something on that land, we're going to scrap it and we want to build homes. That's going to lead to lawsuits, conflicts. It's not going to work. Now, check out the other one of Kamala Harris's plans. She says that she wants to give a new $6,000 child tax credit for families with children in the first year. Now, I want to know where she got that from, because just a week or two ago, J.D. Vance was on CBS and said, yes, him and Donald Trump want to see the child tax credit go up to $5,000 per kid. Here it is.
Well, I think one of the things you can do is make it bigger per child. I think we'd love to see it at a higher dollar value. And again, President Trump and I have proposed that. I mean, look, I'd love to see a child tax credit that's $5,000 per child, but you, of course, have to work with Congress to see how possible and viable that is.
So he said that. Therefore, Kamala Harris then takes his idea and then adds $1,000 on top of it. Plagiarism at its finest. All this woman knows to do is steal other people's ideas and make it as her own. Again, cut taxes for frontline workers. Trump already has that in place with the TCJA Act. Okay, it cut taxes for middle American families. But if you listen to the mainstream media, they want to say no, it gave big corporate tax cuts to big time corporations. But I like to listen to actual facts and articles and non-biased news, because Yahoo Finance said this. Actually, no, Trump's tax cuts benefited the middle class more than it did. IRS data provides Trump tax cuts benefited middle class working class Americans most. But if you listen to mainstream news, if you listen to CNN, ABC, MSNBC, all the pro-left liberal propaganda, they're going to say that no, all the big time corporations got all the tax cuts. People need to understand this. Economics 101. Under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, a lot of the jobs that Donald Trump brought back, the manufacturing jobs, were outsourced. Outsourced means they went overseas to do that, because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden wanted to increase the corporate tax rate to damn near 35%. If they have to pay more in taxes, that means that they will have less money and wiggle room to pay their employees. Why do you think a lot of these companies are laying off their employees? Because of the big corporate tax that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden want to impose and have imposed. All right. So if you have more money rolling around in your company, you can spread that money out to pay employees, to hire more people. Therefore, if you have more people working under you, that's also feeding the economy, because those people who are working will then go out, buy food, buy groceries, buy homes, buy cars, therefore circulating that money back into the economy. Yes, we all know the big time corporations are very, very greedy, but you have to work with them, because at the end of the day, they're the ones employing people, having them have jobs, have resources that they can feed themselves and feed their families. If you hit them with that heavy tax penalty, they're not going to have money to hire more people or to keep people working under them. Have we not seen all these big time corporations are laying people off, and they say for budget reasons? Because it's like, hold on, we're not paying 35% in taxes. We're going to take our manufacturing jobs somewhere else. Under Donald Trump, he brought back those manufacturing jobs. And people need to understand this. The United States manufacturing job is the basis, is the foundation of America. We need manufacturing jobs. Everything comes from manufacturing jobs, from warehouse jobs. You talk about cars, clothes, foods, everything that we touch, that we see, is produced in a warehouse, is produced in a manufacturing place. So the fact that you're gonna want to hit these big corporations or these companies with heavy taxes, especially some of them are low starting small businesses, that is going to hurt their pockets and put them out of business very, very quickly. You have to work with these people because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are employing people, putting money into those people's pockets. Therefore, the people who are getting paid could put that money into the economy and have it circulating. Consumers buying clothes, house, cars, shoes, whatever the case may be. It's all how you keep the money flowing. And the more the money is flowing into the economy, the better the American middle class will be. But to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, their communist party, they don't seem to get that. Now, again, other things that she said too, cut taxes for frontline workers. Trump already has that in place. Trump has said that multiple times that he will cut taxes for frontline workers, for middle class family citizens, and he'll cut taxes to help Americans afford health insurance. But she just seems to copy and plagiarize everything that Donald Trump said and make it her own. I believe Donald Trump said 2 months ago that he wants to eliminate taxes on tips. 2 months later, Kamala Harris said the exact same thing, word for word. But people seem to not understand the reason why waitresses are getting taxed on tips is because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their Inflation Reduction Act, or as I say, the Inflation Enhancement Act. In that policy, they allowed the IRS to track people who get paid off the books. Therefore, tips. So that means that waitresses have to report their tips to the IRS, all because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Also, they hired 80,000 plus new IRS agents to audit these people under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris was the deciding factor vote to have that policy go into law. So the same thing that she agreed upon, now she says she wants to take it away. If he doesn't ask me, that is complete and total hypocrisy and bullshitness at its finest. All right, guys, so that is about it. This video is going on almost 17 minutes, but every other policy that Kamala Harris has, she's stealing from Donald Trump. And the fact that we're in a financial mess as a country is because of her and Joe Biden. But let me know what you guys think about this video. Do agree, disagree with my commentary? Leave a comment down below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.